CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Provincial police say they're looking for two suspects accused of cutting down flagpoles outside 4 Perth County schools. As Scott Miller reports, the vandals' motivation sure seems to be the flags those poles were flying.
3 tiny pride flags flutter in the wind at the base of a flagpole outside Elma Township Public School near Atwood. The tiny flags are a temporary replacement for a flagpole holding a large pride flag and Canadian flag that was cut down by vandals sometime over the weekend.
That was placed by a kindergartner who was just devastated that she saw that the flagpole was cut down. And so for her to take it upon herself to put those little flags up speaks mountains of support throughout our community.
In all, 4 flagpoles displaying pride and Canadian flags at 4 Perth County elementary schools were chopped down by vandals over the weekend. Local pride organizations are upset by the vandalism, but sadly say they're getting used to it.
It was definitely unfortunate. It's not surprising in some ways, considering the events that we've heard about in Norwich and Markham and other places. You know, it's something that you don't want to see in your community, but when it comes to being visible and transparent about pride, you do sometimes expect some backlash, unfortunately.
In the Avon-Maitland District School Board, who just this year got pride flags displayed at all 39 of their schools, the weekend vandalism is being described as targeted and hateful.
Well, what's frustrating and disappointing is racism and hate is expensive. So instead of allocating resources to students, I now have to replace 4 flagpoles that also carry the Canadian flag, which to me is also is a disaster when you think about you have that much hate where you're willing to sacrifice your own country.
In nearby North Perth, where they've been flying the pride flag proudly for many years, there is condemnation of this hateful act.
This is not who we are as a people. And there may be individuals who have some kind of political or religious agenda that they're prosecuting. And you know, there are better ways of doing it than what they've done.
Police say they have 2 suspects caught on school surveillance cameras riding an ATV and carrying a saw outside the schools over the weekend. The school board says it may take some time, but the flagpoles, along with the pride flags and Canadian flag, will go back up outside the 4 schools as soon as possible. In Perth County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
London police have announced charges against the woman accused of crashing a vehicle through the wall of a West London fitness center on Friday. They say 59-year-old Jennifer Lynn Hopper is charged with 6 counts of criminal negligence causing bodily harm. Police have said about 30 women were inside a Good Life fitness center at the time, taking part in a class. 6 were injured, as was the driver. Police say one of the people injured is still in critical condition. Another is listed as fair condition, 1 in good condition, and 4 others have been discharged. They have not clarified the nature of Hopper's injuries. However, they say she did make a court appearance earlier today. The fitness center remains closed.
We have a series of investigations. Currently, our accident reconstruction unit is engaged, as well as our major crime section. They're considering all investigative angles, which require searches and examinations, and those things take time.
Defense lawyers opened their case today at the murder trial in St. Thomas, looking into the death of a 22-year-old woman. They're arguing the man accused of killing her acted in self-defense. However, they admit it may have gone too far. With more, here's Nick Paparella.
In her opening address, the lawyer for the accused, 53-year-old David Yates, told the court this is a case of intimate partner violence. However, Cassandra DeMello said unlike most of those cases, the victim here is her male client. The court has heard that the victim and the accused had a turbulent relationship. And on July 5th of 2023, the badly beaten body of 22-year-old Caitlin Jennings would be discovered at this home at 562 Kingsway Avenue in West London. DeMello claimed that before that date, Mr. Yates endured months of serious and life-threatening assaults at the hands of Ms. Jennings. The lawyer went on, she would choke Mr. Yates with her arm in a chokehold regularly. You've already seen a video of that too. These were not isolated incidents. The court has heard that there were several assault occurrences involving Caitlin, Yates, and police, with DeMello claiming on several occasions she choked him to unconsciousness. She would kick him, and on one occasion even bit his face. She added, police intervention not only happened for this last incident, but for many incidents, as the court has already started to hear. Once officers found Caitlin's body that summer day, they would charge Yates with second-degree murder, and he has pled not guilty. Once he realized Caitlin had passed away, DeMello argued that Yates was overcome with grief, and that's when he attempted suicide to escape the unintended reality of the situation. During the Crown's evidence, the court heard that Caitlin suffered more than 200 injuries, and before wrapping up her opening, DeMello told the court, because of the amount of injuries to Ms. Jennings, Mr. Yates understands that a true, full self-defense defense is unlikely to succeed. And that's why she asked Justice Joseph Perfetto to find Yates guilty of the lesser charge of manslaughter. The trial resumes on Tuesday. In St. Thomas, Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Construction has begun on a major commuter route through Byron. It's a year-long project rebuilding Bowler Road. And as Brian Bicknell reports, that's creating some anxiety for business owners and residents.
Commuters and residents in Byron are being asked to dig in for a long haul.
Construction has to be done. Everybody would be complaining if it wasn't done. So we just have to live with it.
The 2.5 kilometer stretch of Bowler Road from Commissioners Road West to Southdale Road West is about to get a major overhaul. A $6.6 million reconstruction project will go for at least 1 year into the summer of 2027.
This is a great opportunity to improve Bowler all the way from Southdale to Commissioners. It's being designed as an urban, community-focused road.
Improvements include a two-way cycle track and upgraded pedestrian crossings and traffic signals. Bowler Road homeowner Marion Ross says she understands the need for the construction, but believes it could have been planned better.
The emergency vehicles that go up and down here, they're talking about narrowing the street, which is going to make it very difficult for people to get in and out. It's already bad.
The most significant impact is the full closure of Bowler between Byron Baseline and Griffith Street until October. The owner of this business at Byron Baseline says it makes him nervous.
We will lose business because now they have to take a long way. So instead of wasting, extra time traveling to here, they might go somewhere else which is closer, right?
Residents along Bowler also say the road has been notorious for burst water mains. In fact, the city says the main reason this work needs to be done is because the water pipes have reached the end of their lifespan.
The section along Bowler where we have to close for water main repairs, we're doing a full water main replacement. We've seen 13 breaks on this aging infrastructure over the last few years, which is disruptive for the public.
The city says detours will be in place, but local access for residents, businesses, and emergency services will be maintained throughout the project. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
London fire crews responded to a battery fire in the North End early this morning. They say the flames broke out in an apartment complex on Huron near Adelaide. According to witnesses, there was smoke billowing from an apartment on the upper level of a three-story walk-up. An occupant reportedly placed a smoldering e-bike battery on their balcony. Fire officials say that person was treated on scene for smoke inhalation.
These batteries are one of the fastest growing concerns in the fire service right now across Ontario, Canada, and the U.S. So I want to make sure that people are safe out there, make sure you're using the right charging system, and make sure that you're supervising the charging at all times. Yeah.
The head of the Old East Village BIA says London's new downtown master plan must have a broader focus to include all core area business districts.
You cannot focus specifically on downtown. There's no criticism to the consultants because that's what they were asked to do. However, you need to look at the core as a whole because they're all intertwined, they're all connected.
Kevin Morrison has written a 44-page report responding to the downtown master plan. It recommends including nearby business districts in the implementation of a core area improvement plan, which includes OEV, Midtown, Soho, Hamilton Road, and Wortley Village. Tomorrow, councillors will consider a consultant's report which recommends spending $48 million over the next 10 years to reimagine downtown London. However, Morrison says the first priority must be addressing homelessness and safety across the core.
If you don't address the problems that are there, you're not going to be able to move forward with a downtown revitalization plan or the economic development plan as well. It's not going to happen. People have not got the confidence to come down to the core area or downtown with the street level crisis that we have right now.
A London woman is crediting a local organization for saving her life when she was at her lowest. With more on that message ahead of the annual Run for Women this past weekend, here's Brent Lale.
CMHA and My Sister's Place specifically helped save my life.
Melissa Curry recalls a time in her life when drugs and undiagnosed mental health had her on the brink of death.
When you're living out on the streets, it's lonely, it's scary, it's unpredictable. You know, my nervous system was constantly on guard, and I remember I'd walk into that building and it was like a very home-like setting. The support, just being able to feel safe, even for a brief period of time, was instrumental.
Curry has been clean for 15.5 years, but there was a span of about a decade where she struggled. She was in and out of the judicial system, and she'd lean on the Women's Drop-In Center during her darkest days.
Sometimes the only meal or shower or clean change of clothes that I would get was from My Sister's Place.
Curry was one of a record 1,060 participants in the Shoppers Drug Mart Run for Women. She got out of her comfort zone and told her story on stage.
It's so wonderful to see somebody like Melissa come forward and be willing to share her story so that people can really see the impact that services have. Our budget's $1.8 million for the year, and 90% of that is all through fundraising dollars, and this just goes such a long way. People come into our space for all sorts of reasons. We provide a nutritious meal, a hot shower, a place to do laundry, rest, connect for mental health supports. There aren't a lot of spaces like that where it's women only, where they are safe and they can get the needs met that they have. So sometimes they'd be on the street, sometimes they'd be staying in places that are unsafe.
I used to be the person that ran from the police. That was the only running that I used to do.
Curry, who is now a skilled trades worker, was taking on the 10-kilometer run.
I'm healthy and well and have both of my feet, and it could even be a possibility to run 10K. Beyond grateful.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
One of Canada's last surviving Second World War veterans has been honored with another accolade, now at the age of 102. He's a London resident recognized with an honorary degree for a lifetime of service, resilience, and advocacy. With more, here's Rita Ismail.
George Herbert Beardshaw, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Congratulations.
At 102 years old, Sir George Beardshaw is still collecting accolades and still keeping his sense of humor.
Quit giving me awards. Yeah. Quit giving me, you gotta stop.
The Second World War veteran received an honorary Doctor of Laws degree from Wilfrid Laurier University on June 9th. Beardshaw served with the Queen's Own Rifles during the war and spent the final weeks of the conflict as a prisoner of war. At just 14 years old, Beardshaw arrived in Canada as a British home child, part of a program that saw thousands of children from Britain sent overseas, often alone, to work on farms.
George's life story is one of resilience, bravery, and service. In the 80 years since the end of the Second World War, George has been a proud member of Canada's veteran community and a dedicated advocate for the recognition of the lived experiences of British home children in this country.
Beardshaw's wartime service and lifelong advocacy have earned him numerous awards and honors, including France's Legion of Honor and the King Charles III Coronation Medal.
He has been out in the community speaking about wartime for many years and at many military events, and also about home children as well.
I got so many medals, I don't know which one to choose, you know. Yeah.
Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Still to come, race ready in Soho. Crowds lining South Street for the neighborhood's annual Soapbox Derby. Canada's main stock index gained while oil prices fell today. On the latest updates from the White House on Iran, more on that in a moment. The TSX up 338 points in New York. The Dow added 469, the Nasdaq up 795. The Canadian dollar dropped a modest 0.03 On commodity markets, gold gained more than $110 an ounce, and oil fell more than $4 a barrel. President Donald Trump says the details of a tentative ceasefire arrangement will be released soon, but there are still outstanding issues with a signing set for Friday. World leaders welcome that news in France, site of the G7 summit. And with the latest, here's Mike LeCouture.
Everything is very nice, thank you. As he celebrated brokering the deal, U.S. President Donald Trump gave a timeline for the full opening of the Strait of Hormuz.
They're doing a little hunting for a couple of mines that they've already found, but it's essentially ships are starting to go out now. On Friday, it'll be completely opened.
Nearly 1/5 of all shipped oil passes through that waterway, and Trump boasted it should be flowing again soon. The UK and France are making a push for a multinational naval mission to keep the strait open. Prime Minister Mark Carney has said Canada could contribute to securing the strait, but wasn't specific.
We'll have an opportunity starting from tonight at the G7 in Evian to see what we and other countries can do to help reinforce this important progress that's been made.
For the G7 leaders, the priority is also to prevent Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon.
First, it will fix the nuclear issue, and it's a very important matter for peace. For the whole world.
Carney also underscored the importance of making global commodity systems more resilient to wars so consumers aren't affected by these types of conflicts.
I spoke to President Macron about a few options on Friday, and under his leadership and President Trump's and others will look to make progress there.
Trade will also be on the agenda at the G7, with the French president underlining the importance of working together. Tariffs do no one any good, especially between G7 countries, Macron said. Canada has that same message for the U.S., but Carney isn't planning to bring it up with Trump. He told reporters those discussions will be held on the sidelines of this summit between the Minister of Canada-U.S. Trade, Dominic LeBlanc, and U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Evian, France.
Good evening. It's calm out there tonight. Quiet conditions as we head into your Tuesday morning. We will start the day with a tiny bit of sunshine before the clouds move in. It'll be cool and fresh first thing, and the winds will be shifting, though, to the southwest as we head through the day. Thanks, Michelle, for this photo of Tilly. If you're heading out for a walk in the morning, expect some quieter conditions. If you wait until the afternoon for your walk, you could be dodging some showers and thunderstorms. I'll have all your local forecast details coming up on the other side of the break.
Welcome back on the desk with Julie now at the start of a week that's, well, cooler by recent standards. They're not all going to be scorchers this summer, are they?
No. You know, we have this time of year, we definitely see a little bit of fluctuation in terms of our temperature. So we're into cooler conditions. If we kicked off the week with temperatures a bit below normal, and normal daytime high around a 24. As we head into tomorrow, that's the forecast high, so 24 degrees. But it was nice and fresh first thing this morning. We will be dodging rainfall this week and a chance of thunderstorms as we head into tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday. So the forecast icons look very wet each day. However, there'll be some dry time out there. Don't worry. All right, as we take a look at our satellite radar tonight, we do have some rainfall moving through in northern Ontario. We have some showers on the east coast tonight and through New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. In between, we do have high pressure. So as a result, we are seeing some calmer conditions. Skies will be mainly clear overnight. And we will start the day tomorrow with a little bit of sunshine. Now, the clouds will be building in the afternoon. We have a closed low that is circulating its way through Hudson and James Bay, and it is blocked by a weather system. So last week we had that blocking pattern where we saw the heat and humidity building. This week we are on the cooler side of things with that closed low to the north that will allow these little weak areas of low pressure to move through. So the forecast as we head into tomorrow morning, peaks of sunshine to start your day, clouds will quickly increase, and then the chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms. But look at how the thunderstorms are making the move across the area. So you can see this is not widespread. So there is a weak system that'll pivot its way through the area tomorrow. And as a result, it'll add some lift to the atmosphere. But combo that with a bit of daytime heating, and that's where we will see these thunderstorms popping up. Then as we head into Tuesday at night, still some rainfall moving through the GTA into early Wednesday morning. So staying unsettled. Probability of showers Tuesday, Wednesday, 40%, and Thursday, we're going to bump that up to about a 60% chance. So overnight, cool and comfortable. Tonight, you can keep those windows open if you'd like. Shut those air conditioners off. Give them a break. First thing in the morning, feeling quite fresh. The winds will come around to the southwest as we head through the day, 20 with gusts to 40. Midday and through the afternoon, the forecast high 24 degrees. So this forecast looks very wet. However, the chance for rain develops Tuesday afternoon. The chance for rain develops Wednesday afternoon. So that means you'll have a significant amount of time where we're not seeing rainfall. Now, Thursday looks quite cloudy, showery with gusty winds. So that looks to be the day if you are planning something outdoors and you can maybe shift it a bit. Definitely Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning are looking good. Chance of afternoon showers again on Friday, the high 25. The weekend looks cool. Mix of sun and cloud both Saturday and Sunday, but daytime highs from just 22 to 23 degrees. Midwestern Ontario, your forecast, the same weather pattern for you. Temperatures this week on the cooler side, anywhere between 22 and 23 degrees. Chance of showers, again, as we head into the afternoon. Chance of showers and thunderstorms Wednesday afternoon. But Thursday, we are expecting a bit more in the way of widespread rainfall through the day. So Wednesday night into Thursday, showery conditions expected with some gusty winds. The weekend will feature cooler conditions with daytime highs anywhere between 21 and 22 degrees and some cool overnight lows this week. So definitely not a sun-filled forecast, but not a complete wash either. Just be prepared heading out the door tomorrow that you could encounter some showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks, Julie. Canada's second World Cup match is this Thursday, taking on Qatar in Vancouver. Injured captain Alphonso Davies remains a question mark for that contest after missing the opener against Bosnia and Herzegovina. With the latest on his recovery, here's Andrew Johnson.
Alphonso Davies is on the training pitch today at the University of British Columbia, a day after he hit the streets of Vancouver and met a fan who had no idea who they were talking to.
Wow, it's a great jersey. I just want to say, I love your jersey. Let me see who's in the back. You see? Yes.
The man wearing a Davies jersey didn't realize he was face-to-face with the superstar in the video Davies posted to social media. Davies remains in what's called return-to-play protocol, still working his way back from a hamstring injury. A question mark heading into Thursday's crucial match against Qatar. Will he be ready?
Fonzie, he's one of the best players on our team. He's a world-class player, so obviously to have him in the lineup would be amazing. But obviously Richie's done amazing too. Richie's been fantastic, and whoever has played in that position has been fantastic when the time in the games he's missed. So we have complete confidence in the roster.
Qatar is coming off a surprising draw against top-ranked in Group B Switzerland. Every team in Canada's group has now started the tournament with a tie. It will surely be electric again in downtown Vancouver Thursday after the city hosted Australia and Turkey on the weekend. There was a crowd of more than 52,000 inside and a mob of fans downtown on Granville Street and near BC Place Stadium partying deep into the night. But police reported only 2 arrests. Everyone pretty well behaved. And officials in both Canadian host cities will hope that trend continues. As for Toronto, the day before Canada is back in action here, FIFA returns to BMO Field when Ghana takes on Panama. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Welcome back. The Soho Community Association hosted its second annual Soapbox Derby this weekend. Crowds lined South Street on Sunday, cheering on the racers who have been constructing their cars for the past few weeks. Organizers say the event is about bringing the community together and get kids an opportunity for some hands-on experience with tools.
The big thing that we're trying to do here is introduce London to Soho because it's revitalizing. There's so much going on here. The other thing we're trying to get is kids to put their hands on tools and experiment without an app. We've had rebuilds in the park where we brought all the kids in and got hands on tools. We've got grades 7 and 8 using skill scars. So, we're really happy about that part.
Students had a chance to reconnect with their younger selves thanks to a project years in the making. Lauren Stallone has more on the letters they wrote to themselves and their reaction.
Shall I say back in grade 1? So I scribed it for you.
After years of waiting, grade 8 students at Stony Creek Public School finally get to hear from someone extra special. Their past selves.
Thought, why not have them right now write a letter to themselves? And 8 years go by, and here we are today with them getting their letters back.
Their former teacher, Chris Harris, says he hoped the letters would give students an opportunity to see how much they've grown.
It gives me actually goosebumps. It's just hearing them talk and share stories of little things they did or their memories of the past and how they were such nice people back then, and they still are.
Students say they are grateful Harris held on to their letters for so many years.
I think it's a pretty great opportunity.
I think that's kind of crazy because I never thought I'd actually get this back. So it's what do you know? It's kind of cool.
Eager to see what was inside, students spent the afternoon catching up with their younger selves and reminiscing about the past.
I wanted to be better at English because when I was in grade 1, I was new to Canada and I didn't know English much.
Some were relieved to know not much has changed.
I still like the same movies and stuff. Yeah. Shrek and the Grinch.
And for others, some questions have yet to be answered.
I also said I'm going to have 6 girlfriends in high school.
And is that true?
Yeah.
You think that's going to happen?
Definitely.
As for what the future holds, some students have their minds made up.
I'm probably going to go to the military to serve my country for a couple years and then retire.
I hope to be a judge or a lawyer.
While others are making their financial advisors proud.
I want to get a career that I enjoy, but one that I can get money with. Be an electrician or something, because I make pretty good money.
Something that gives me a lot of money.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.